You're watching Den Pubs TV.
Okay, we're here with Sterling Goodspeed, Supervisor of Town of Johnsburg. If you could just tell us a little bit about what's been going on the past couple days.
Well, as you can see, Lindsay, we're in a major flood situation. The river has not been this high in recorded history. It's come up over its banks here in North Creek. The historic train station is behind me. The historic Kellogg and Waddell barns are partially filled with water. Again, the river has never been this high before. Route 28 in North River was just closed. The second lane became impassable. And at approximately 1:30 in the town of Johnsburg, I declared a state of emergency, which gives us certain powers to make a mandatory evacuation should events continue to worsen. We're hopeful for some dry weather. It's not raining now, obviously. There was projected rain for later this afternoon. There's some thought that it might pass just north of us. So we're hoping we've peaked. We're hoping for the best, but we're planning for the worst.
Have any evacuations been made?
No, our local fire departments have been in touch on a voluntary basis with people on both sides of the river and discussed their options with them. And at last check, everyone still was comfortable and wanted to stay a bit longer, but asked that they get checked in on, which we, of course, are trying to do. The notion of the declaration of emergency is, should it become apparent to us that there were a major further problem, we would have the power to go in and assist those people in a mandatory evacuation for their safety and health.
Now, once the water goes back to a safe level, what kind of damages do you foresee, both here with these buildings and on some of the local roads?
Well, the local roads are another story. In addition to the river flooding, we've just had flooding throughout, runoffs. In County Road in North River, the 13th Lake Road has suffered a mudslide. There's about 200 to 300 feet of that road that's just gone, impassable. Probably 8 or 9 roads in the town of Johnsburg right now are in some state of disrepair. Our highway superintendent, Dan Hitchcock, and his crew have been working around the clock on it, but I met with him a couple of hours ago, and he explained that a lot of the stuff that they'd worked on yesterday was destroyed by last night and this morning's rain event. So, it's kind of one step up and 2 steps back right now. We really need some dry weather to rein it in. But the roads are not passable in several areas. I don't recall any time in my lifetime that 28 has ever been closed, but it clearly is not passable.
Has anyone been over to the historical buildings at this site to see how they're holding up against the water?
We had folks in to photograph it and preserve some images for insurance purposes earlier in the day. At that point, there were about 8 or 9 inches of water, and the water was still rising. At this point, we hope for the best, wait for the water to recede, but I think you're right. We're certainly going to be looking at some cleanup issues when the water does finally recede. It's carried folks' outdoor furniture, it's carried wood, it's carried trees, and as it goes back and recedes to its normal level, we're going to be left with a cleanup process in this area and really all along the river.
Okay.